Hey folks, well today we are in the middle of Vermont, halfway up the side of this mountain, walking up this soupy, wet trail. I've heard that Appalachian Trail thru hikers call Vermont Vermud, for good reason. But today we have a bit of a mission. The landowner of the piece of property that we're on today sent me an email inviting me up here to try to find this old home site and do some metal detecting. Because apparently years ago, his father gave permission to some guys to come out here and metal detect, and they found a bunch of military stuff. Buttons, he thinks maybe a buckle, and unfortunately, I mean, these guys took this stuff with permission from his father, but nobody wrote down what it was or took pictures. His father's gone now. We don't know who these people are, and he would really like to know who this person was who lived here and how old these military pieces were, whether it was Civil War or older or newer. So it's my mission today to try to find something military. A coin will probably do the trick, give us a date of exactly, when people were living here. But the goal is something military. And he said I can keep whatever I find, just as long as he can know what may have been taken in the past. So we've got a ways to go. We're on a trail right now, but we're gonna break off and go through the woods in a bit. I think we're pretty close. Alright, well I just busted out into this big, beautiful area with ferns and hardwoods. This must be the spot. We're gonna do some loops around here, see if we can find the foundation. What an awesome spot. Butterflies everywhere, birds are chirping. I've been wandering around for a little while, and I finally just found the remnants of their foundation here, cellar. It's hard to tell depth through the camera lens, but maybe 3 foot deep, square, a lot of stones in the middle, which would have been the hearth or chimney or whatever. There is a lot of ferns around here. It's going to be hard to swing the metal detector, but we're going to do our best. Let's get our metal detector out. I'm already seeing old dig holes from people digging here in the past, but you never know. Let's see what we can find. Alright, got a pretty loud target. It wound up being this fragment of oil lamp. It's actually a pretty common find. Folks had lots of these back before the light bulb, but this one actually has quite a bit of gold plating still on there. Just thought that was pretty cool. There would have been obviously quite a bit more. The part with the spinner made the wick go up and stuff. This is just the kind of the skirt to it, but maybe we'll find more of it. Alright, well we just got our first little disc that doesn't appear to be a button. Alright, well it is in just absolutely terrible shape, but you can just make out the N for 1 cent. This is an Indian head penny. There's no way we're going to get a date off this, but hopefully this isn't a sign for things to come, concerning the soil here, that all the coins don't look like this. We'll see. We'll keep looking. That's a good sign. Dropping their money. Let's keep going. Alright, I have just got a beautiful target here. 91. That is a really nice high target. Is it? Is that it? No way. This is an iron 4-hole button. This can't be it. Let me recheck. Well, that was it. You never do know. That's bizarre. 4-hole underwear button. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, well, we just got our first piece of silver today. It isn't much, and we can't date it, but that is piece of a spoon. No initials on it, no engraving, but it is not plated, and it rings nice and high like silver. I'll take that. It's not a silver coin, but it's definitely something. Awesome. Well, they clearly had some wealth here. Let's keep going. So I was detecting around, staring at the ground as you do, and check this out. Isn't that beautiful? That is a turkey feather. Pretty common finds out here, but always very, very cool. We're going to throw this in our bag and take it with us. We'll have to keep our eyes open, see if we can see some more attached to a bird. See what else we can find here. Check this out. It's been a long time since I found a full, complete one of these. I think it's what it is. Oh yeah, for sure. Look at that. What is this down here? Is this like a... Well, this is a jingle bell, or a crotal bell. A crotal bell and a jingle bell are two names for the same thing. Sleigh bell, horse bell. It's all the same thing. This was on probably a harness for a horse, and they jingled, you know? I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this one. It looks like it's full of, maybe it's full of just a root or something. Anyway, this is where it would hang, and if I can get this cleaned out maybe a little bit later today, we'll see if it still jingles. It may. It has some decorative petals down here, and occasionally there'll be initials down here on some of the older ones that can tell you where it was made. But it doesn't look like this one has any of that. Maybe. See that? We'll see. We'll get it cleaned up a little bit later and see what we got here. Beautiful. Alright, I got just another really deep target here. I think it might actually be iron. Man, it might be brass, just stained red here. See that? Yeah. Another piece of lamp. Much different than the hurricane style of the fragment that we found earlier. I don't know how accurate it is, but I've heard these described as whale oil lamps. They would have been 2 wicks. Really cool. Only a fragment, and this is always the fragment that I find. I never find any other pieces of it. Pretty cool. Moving on. Check this out. It has been the season of scissors. I have never found a pair of scissors in my entire life metal detecting. And here we have another fragment of one. But this one rang up pretty good. It must have been the circle, you know, the metal detector will read high on, you know, silver and big pieces of brass, but also shapes. So circles, round things, even if they're iron, often read high, and that's how we found this. Really, really cool. Let's throw it in the bag, see what else we can find. Alright, well, after that Indian head scent, I was not expecting any large copper coins, but I think that we just got one. Look at that. The target was pretty good. I should have filmed it ahead of time. The nails have just been reading big and beautiful in high tones, and maybe you remember that little iron button? It sounded so good, so I didn't get the camera out, and should have. Look at that. A big copper coin. Looks like it might be in pretty good shape, too. What do we have? Oh, it's a large cent. Let me get my toothbrush, see if maybe we can get a date. Alright, well, it didn't clean up as good as I was hoping, but you can read the 1 cent. And then on the front, we have Lady Liberty. Unfortunately, it is flaking pretty good here. The date is illegible, but based on the design, we're going to be able to get a pretty narrow range of dates on how old it is. You know, I was just thinking, what a time to have been alive where this was worth a penny. 100 of these made $1. Imagine having a stack of 100 of these coins and only having it be worth $1. But then a few years later, it was like probably a quarter this size, just a tiny little cent, the size of our cents now. What a transition that must have been. All right, I'm more than happy with that. It's hard to beat an old copper coin like this from the early years of the United States. Awesome. Let's keep going. There's two of them, so I suspect it was a coyote. Hey, hey! I don't know what they're doing, if they're circling me. I do have my sidearm, so I'm not overly worried, but I can hear them. There's two, starting over here, one over here, and they kind of came through. Crazy. I don't hear them now. We're out here, no joke. Wild animals everywhere. So hopefully we don't run into something bigger. It's hard to judge how old this is, but it is a pocket knife. It has a really interesting curve to it. A lot of times when we find knives, the blade is extended and broken off. This one, I don't think is the case. Maybe there was two blades. It probably came out like this, one blade here, and then went out straight, but neither side appears to be broken off, so this was more than likely dropped accidentally. Pretty cool. Not much left of it, but we can tell what it is. Let's see what else we can find here. Well, I just got done saying I've never found the other part to these whale oil lamps. Check it out. I got another one. This still has, I don't know what you would call those, the wick guides, I guess. That's really cool. They appear to also be brass. I don't know where they would have gone out of this one, but that's what it would have looked like. Sat down in a glass jar, more than likely, full of oil. Really cool. Like, I don't know, 100 yards away from the other one. Funny. Man, it's been a long day, and the targets have been pretty scarce. But I just got a very junky target. It was so deep and did not sound good, but it's a button. It's silver plated, and there's something on there. I didn't really look at it very closely yet. We're going to look at it together as I spray it off. Oh man, alright, I'm excited. Nervous. Let's see. What do you think? It looks like an eagle. Oh wow. It does appear to be, or kind of a little bit rusty up here. I don't want to remove any of that silver plate. Let me work on it with a toothbrush for a couple minutes here. Alright, there it is. The eagle with Excelsior, which, to the best of my knowledge, means that this is a New York militia. We lost our shank, and I'm going to have to really scrub on that to get whatever this is off. I mean, it's not rust. The button is brass, but it is really stuck on there. So our shank is broken, but look at all of that silver wash still on the front of that button. That is absolutely incredible. He's standing on what looks like a globe with a banner. Excelsior. Incredible. Well, that's going to be a pretty good end to this day, I say. I've been walking around for probably an hour without any good targets. And we got this. We'll check in the immediate vicinity here, but if there's nothing else, we'll head on out of here. Incredible. Alright, well, this place has definitely been metal detected in the past. There were some holes that, they weren't open dig holes, but the plug was like not quite where it started. You could tell people had been here. And they did pretty good, but we found a few things that they missed. A couple pretty cool things. Let's see what we found. Alright, well, I didn't show really any of these except the iron 4-hole button, but I did find 7. 2 or 3 of them are actually made out of tombac, which is quite a bit older than I was expecting to find here, but, there they are, we found them. A couple spoons, we got an iron bowl and a little brass bowl, piece of a hurricane lamp, and then I actually found 3 pieces of these, again, what I've been told are whale oil lamps. It's just a different design, has 2 wicks. A little pocket knife, 1 piece of some scissors. Is it a scissor if there's only one? Our crotal bell, and I really tried to get whatever this is out of here. It seems like it's full of iron somehow, but I'll get it out at home and get it ringing again. There are some initials down here as well. I'll take a photo of those once I get it cleaned up, and hopefully we can identify who made it and when they were alive and put a little rough date on that. Our 1 piece of silver today is a fragment of a spoon, but I'll take it. And then we have 3 really pretty exciting things down here. We have our large cent, our Indian head cent, and our military button, which says Excelsior, silver plated, with all of its silver plate left, which is incredible. You never find them like this. Worn by somebody in the New York militia. Really pretty incredible. Alright folks, this is just an absolutely beautiful area out here. And that being said, all day I just couldn't help keep looking over my shoulder, thinking I was hearing rustling in the trees, wondering if maybe those coyotes followed me out here. You never know. So I want to thank you again for coming out here on another trip into the mountains with me, metal detecting. And I'm really excited to show the landowner that military button. I'm going to take a picture of it for him, and obviously he'll have this video. Maybe it'll shine some light on the buttons that were found here in the past, shed some light on the occupant who would have lived here a couple hundred years ago. Fill in a couple missing pieces of history here. So thanks again for watching. Hopefully I'll see you next Friday for another new video.